Excellent.
There's a couple people still absent, but it'll be fine.
Okay. All right. It is Sunday, February 1st, 2026 at 7:32 p.m. My name is Stephen Akela, Chairman of the Libertarian National Committee, and I'm going to be calling this special meeting to order. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with roll, please.
Mr. Bowler,
Present.
Mr. Bost,
Present.
Mr. Chatterton,
Present.
Mr. Dar,
Here.
Mr. Dassing,
Here.
Mr. Bracco,
Present.
Mr. Ford,
Here.
Mr. Weir, Mr. Weir, Miss Hayes, Miss Hayes, Miss Robson,
Here.
Mr. Neville,
Present.
Mr. Lamb, Mr. Lamb, Mr. Martin,
Aloha.
Mr. McGee,
Present.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson, I am here. Mr. Koffel,
Present.
Mr. Hirsch, Mr. Hirsch, Mr. Redpath,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Miss Coward, Miss Coward, Mr. Vinson,
Here.
Mr. Watkins, Mr. Watkins, Mr. Nikela.
I'm present.
Mr. Chair, we have 16 voting members present.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to public comment. 2 minutes each for 10 minutes. Is there anybody in the gallery who is seeking to participate in public comment at this time? Pat, I'll leave you last because
Yep, absolutely.
we really don't. Could that be an announcement that you have for us at the end of the meeting?
No, actually, I want to catch members. It's specific, couple of quick items specific to the convention that I just want to make sure people know.
Let's leave that for announcements, because I want to keep public comment strictly for members. Mr. Roos, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to provide this comment. I wanted to give a quick shout out to the LNC, who's finding this groove in terms of how to respond to the immigration enforcement issues around the state of Florida and beyond, of course, and what we're talking about in hotspots. We find ourselves, history is repeating itself. 40 years ago, the Florida Keys declared their independence and formed the Conch Republic because the same agency that we're crying about put a checkpoint and made everybody go through it and show their papers. And here we are today doing the same thing with people being pulled over, not fearful about what their interaction with people here in Florida are doing. And overall, I would be remiss if I didn't comment and say that there are a lot of people who have friends and family who are affected by this. And they're not just necessarily Hispanic, but or people of Hispanic descent. About a third of the population of the United States is of Hispanic descent, and they're actually just not that politically active in the first place. So this is there is certainly a reaction and political consequences for trying to stifle such a large segment of the population. And if you are in the southwest of the United States, you know what I'm talking about in terms of that. In terms of maybe the largest voting group in America that has never elected a U.S. president, and I think that is kind of the political questions that are out there. And in terms of what's driving some of this conversation, I really like to see what the LNC is doing in terms of an iterative process in developing its positions on immigration. I will say though that immigration enforcement is obviously a reaction for what has happened in the last few years. under the Biden administration. And really, at the end of the day, it's a core tenet of libertarian thought about if you are sovereign, then you have the right to deny people entry onto your property or deny them control over your own person.
We're at time.
Thank you so much for you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Roos. And we seceded where others failed. I have my Conquer Public flag behind me. And just for anybody's information, the statement that went out on Saturday by Monday had 3 million views. So we had a lot of hits on that ICE statement. It was really timely. The algorithm swooped it up, and so our position on ICE is very clear. And
Is it? What is our
we were-
position on ICE?
who said?
Looking at the weather channel.
Please mute your
in the
microphone.
middle of a meeting.
All right. Anybody else interested in public comment? Going once, going twice. Mr. Martin, I'll let you do an announcement at the end, but I don't want board members participating in public comment. All right. If there's no other hands, then we will move on to the agenda. The chair is seeking a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. We are now on to discussion. Mr. Dar, if you'll take over for just a second, I promised Mr. Martin I would attempt to, because this happened later in this evening, I did promise I would move for the resolution in support of federal election integrity efforts to be moved to A under new business with previous notice.
Mr. Chair, if it makes it easier, instead of trying to pass the gavel, I'd be happy to make that motion.
Go. Perfect.
And it's switching, looking at the screen, it's switching which ones?
B with A, so B would be considered before A. Or
Pardon,
become-
actually, I would like to hear the widespread election fraud resolution first, if possible.
Oh, is that the one? Okay, so I apologize. It would be
No worries.
C would be A.
Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Is there a second?
If I may also, if we could extend maybe 15 minutes on each one instead, that would be really awesome.
Well, right now we'll deal with dispense with this amendment first. Were you looking to second the motion, Mr. Martin, to consider the item first? Resolution.
I will second that.
All right. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, amendment passes. We're now back on to discussion. The floor is open.
Then the time, if I'm recognized, sorry, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
I would move to extend the time on the resolutions to 15 minutes each.
I'll
There-
object.
There's an objection. Is there a second?
There is a second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. We are now on to debate on that item. If there is any debate, otherwise we'll just go to a vote.
If I may.
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I think this is an extremely important issue. Actually, there's several very important issues on the menu today, and I just want to make sure that we get enough time that it doesn't become an issue that we're fighting over time, because that'll end up wasting more time than if we just allot enough in the first place. I yield.
Ms. Robson, to recognize.
I think maybe he just spoke to that, but I was just going to say, if we left it as is and we started to run out of time, we could just make a motion to extend time if need be, correct?
That is an option.
So I don't know that we need to preemptively give extra time in case, let's just say we don't need it. I don't know. It can go either way.
Because there was an objection, we'll go and, Mr. Buller, go ahead. You're recognized.
Yes, I would say that for me, I would rather keep it the same and then ask everyone to approve any requests to extend time as the items come along, because I do just think that these things deserve the time that they need. But we also need to try to keep this moving efficiently.
All right, and I believe we're actually at time for the agenda consideration. So we'll go ahead and dispense with this motion and then the main motion after that. So all in favor of the Martin Amendment to extend the time of each resolution to 15 minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, put your hands down.
Mr. Chair, just making sure you didn't count Travis. That was a hand raised. That was somebody who shouldn't be voting.
Oh, I thought that was Mr. Bost.
No.
Okay, so it was 5. All right. Opposed, please raise your
Mr.
hand.
Chair,
Yes.
Oh, wait, what? I mean, no. Hold on.
I did have my hand raised.
Mr. Bost,
Yes.
because there was somebody just named, because there's somebody who was
This-
just named Travis.
This is me again.
Okay. Can you re-vote, Mr. Chair? Because
Yeah,
that's not it wasn't Travis Bost. It was just someone named Travis that raised their hand.
All in favor, please raise your hands again. I see 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mr. Ford, he had his hand
Yeah.
up. There.
5.
There you go.
1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All LNC members. All right, lower your hands. All opposed, please raise your hands.
I can't raise my hand.
Okay, so we got Mr. McMahon, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, amendment fails. So we'll now move on to the acceptance of the agenda. Is there any objection to the agenda as amended? Hearing none, we have an agenda. All right, we'll move on to standing items, Convention Oversight Committee report and update with Mr. Ford. You have the floor.
Okay, we're gonna go through a couple things very quickly, and then we're gonna go to executive session. First of all, I want to note, and this is important, that the early bird discount has been extended to February 21st. That will be the last extension. That will be strict midnight Pacific time, as is our tradition now. A couple of clarifications. First of all, the convention begins and will gavel in at Friday, 10:30 in the morning, and will gavel out sometime on Monday as needed. You do not have to register for the convention per se. The true registration begins at the state level, and you register either as an alternate or as an attendee. And there are, for folks who just want to go to the convention, there are ample opportunities to be an alternate. Attendance to the convention is free, the business section, and there will be a handful of breakout sessions that will be free. Attendance at anything else does require a package. Those packages are up on the website, and we've got about a dozen near finalized breakout sessions that we're going to be adding over the next week or two, in order so that folks get an understanding of what's going to be happening. I do want to formally announce that Sunday evening, that weekend, there will be a gala. It will start at 7:30 in the evening. Dinner and drinks. The highlight to be a speech by Mr. Nikela as the outgoing chair, and there will be an opportunity for the new chair. Hopefully, we'll be done the 10 or 15 ballots that will necessary to elect a new chair, and that person will be given an opportunity to speak as well. We're contemplating having another speaker, but we found that given the time and the socializing and the fundraising that's going to take place, we're going to have a lot of speakers that weekend. So we think we're just going to be focusing on outgoing, incoming chairs. As far as rooms go, the Wednesday night, the early night that some people are contemplating coming in at the Hilton is sold out, completely sold out. There will not be any other rooms on that Wednesday night. Now we have rooms still available for Thursday night that will get you in time for convention, gavel in Friday morning. through Monday night if you choose to stay Monday night as opposed to flying out. Now, remember, convention business is probably going to still be going on. And the reason we went to a 4-day convention was to have ample time for platform and bylaws, something that we haven't been able to address because of time issues the last couple of conventions. So keep that in mind when you're making a reservation. By the way, as people have found out, there is on the LNC 2026 website a help text number that you can text any questions. And someone will probably call you back, and that someone will be me. So that's one of my phones. So you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions. Please don't spend hours trying to figure something out or get frustrated. Or, I mean, if you want to vent online, that's great, but the processes are pretty well worked out. If you have questions or issues, just text me. It's all good. That's why it's there. If you're looking for Wednesday night, we do have some extra rooms at the courtyard. Now, there are 4 hotels, count them 4. So if you're a Hyatt person, if you're a Marriott person, or you're a Hilton person, I do recommend getting rooms as soon as possible. And the reason why is that we have heavily discounted rates of $139 to $142 per night, depending on the venue, plus theft. And that's going to be considerably cheaper than market rate. Market rate for most of the rooms in the area are already over $200. We have chosen a parliamentarian. His name is Mr. Whitaker. And after an extensive review process, something that Mr. DeCale and I will be announcing soon, Mr. Whitaker has graciously offered to provide some. Now, I know no one in this room and no one in the Libertarian Party feels they need parliamentarian training. As we mentioned to Mr. Whitaker, this will be a unique event because this will be the only event outside of a parliamentary convention where you will have 1,100 parliamentarians. So there will be training. He'll be doing some general classes on social media in order to advance that. Unless anyone has any questions, that's really it for the public session. Any questions that you'd like to carry over in the public? If not, I'm going to move to go into executive session.
All right, there's a motion to move into executive session and a second. Is there any opposed to moving into executive session at this time? Hearing none, we'll proceed into executive session. Mr. Secretary, if you prepare the room for us.
Just a suggestion, maybe for future agendas, is if we put the executive session portion of this towards the end, it might be a little less disruptive for people who are watching the proceedings. And then that way, we can put that, session business that can't be observed after they've seen the portion that can. Just a thought.
Guys, we'll see you on the flip side. Try not to descend into anarchy while we're gone. Or do.
Before you leave, do you have the first name of that parliamentarian?
They're already gone. Mr. Silver.
Hello.
Hey, I'm making you host. And then I need you to
Send you to the breakout room. I will try.
Yep, add me to the breakout room, please.
Okay.
Oh, and if you can stop or pause the recording.
Okay. Join. Participants. Are you're under here as Libertarian Party?
Yep.
We have a put in writing room, a rename, remove permissions. Breakout room. Send her to the breakout room. Break dance. Oh, host tools. There we go. Participants. Request to start. Hey, I'm trying here. It gives me an option to join a breakout room, but it does not give me the option to send you
But
to.
you click on me in the
Click on
three dots, and it should have the ability to move me to the breakout room.
All right, click on you. And then when I do that, it says mute, stop video, spotlight for everyone, make host, make co-host, rename, remove permission, put in rating room, and remove.
Make me host again. Just click on make host.
All right. Make you host.
Thank you. Kyle, Davis.
The recording has stopped.
Anybody in here know how to move somebody else to a breakout room when they're the host? Anyone?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you go to the breakout room and you look at my name, Libertarian Party, under the unassigned, and then you click assign to, and then you add me to room 1.
So I have to click the breakout room first?
No, the breakout room's already created. You click on breakout rooms.
Oh, okay.
And then I would be listed on the unassigned because I'm no longer the host. Then you would add me.
All right, let me try it again.
No, they're just going to call me.
Okay.
While we are waiting,
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are back in session at 8:03 p.m. And we are moving on to new business with previous notice. The new item A is resolution against widespread election subversion, moved by Mr. Lamb. Is there a second?
Am I
Tech-
able to second that?
Technically, Mr. Chair, I think it would be because Mr. Martin
Oh.
is in that seat, it would be moved by Mr. Martin and he'd have to say he moves it.
Gotcha. So Mr. Martin's actually moving it. So is there a second?
I'll
So
second.
moved.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Mr. Martin, you can go ahead and speak to your motion.
Yes, thank you. I think this is one of the most important issues facing the United States right now. If we can't trust our elections and election oversight mechanisms, we're in real trouble. And this is an issue that has affected me personally as an activist. I witnessed things personally with my own eyes that compromised the security of my county's elections. And when I tried to report them, I was removed from the counting center under threat of arrest, even though I was an official designated observer. I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of observers around the country who can report similar stories. That's how they treat eyes and ears and oversight. And then when we go to the courts and try to uphold the laws, we find that the courts are completely disinterested in doing so. I think there's a lot of things here that speak for themselves. And unfortunately, the issue has been politicized, but I don't see this as a left-right issue. I see this as a fundamentally true, untrue, fact, law-based issue that we need to weigh in on, and we absolutely cannot be silent on. I think it's well overdue, and we've had public discussions recently about bringing something like this to the table. So I hope each of you will support this public policy position. With that, I'll rest and happy to answer any questions anyone has about it.
All right, the floor is now open for discussion. Discussion going once, discussion going twice.
Mr. Chatterton has his hand up.
Oh, Mr. Chatterton, go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to just speak briefly in support. I noticed the trend of these things happening throughout the last election season, and I think it's a very important aspect to address things like this for voter confidence, for people having faith in the system, that we have these things looked into and that people trust elections. Particularly, I think one of the common patterns I saw throughout the election season was that many of these cases were challenged into courts and they were dismissed on non-merit-based grounds, things like standing, or issues that were observed that were, in my opinions, seemed pretty credible, although a smaller scale. And the common thing was, this that may have merit, but it's too small to affect the outcome. And I think that so many of those things were seen in small scales around the country where, they were just brushed aside because each individual one was small, but not taking into account the potential for the widespread nature of all of these corrupt practices affecting outcomes at large.
Mr. Ford?
So my concern is not with the issue. I think the issue is completely legitimate, needs to be explored, needs to be exploited, needs to be worked alongside of. I just am always looking for a plan that's going to go along with this. I don't doubt the sincerity of the motion, but I think it's time as an organization, we need to, what are we going to do besides this? What does it mean? What activism is going to come along with it? What single issue coalitions are going to come along with it? I would just like to see more of that alongside of proposed at the time of these resolutions. Now, notwithstanding the outstanding success of the resolution we just put up, which, in all honesty, I'd objected to for the very same reasons. Well, multi-million hits on an issue as important as this, that's impressive, and my congratulations to everyone involved. But, what do we do alongside of this? What do we do to make sure that there's actual activity? I just, in closing, very quickly, in -4-degree weather, I spent a lovely afternoon during that national strike covering the local political landscape and covering the event that took place in Rhode Island. And they had somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 people show up in -4-degree weather, which for a tiny state like Rhode Island is amazing. And not only did people show up and just yell and scream and, bitch, but it was clear that multiple organizations had gotten together and formed single issue coalitions across individual party bounds. And let me tell you, a lot of these Democratic splinter organizations don't play well together. But PSL was there with DSA and WFP and, the whole acronym, the whole range. And there's a plan there. How it works out, who knows? But there was a march, and they actually had a designed march to pressure our federal delegation in Rhode Island, which again, being small, it's easier to do. But again, there was planning there. So again, I'm going to support this, but I think we just need to. We're missing the activism element, and we're missing the coalition building element right now, and that's important. Thank you.
Mr. Martin and then Mr. Buller. Mr. Martin.
Mr. Ford, I want to thank you because that is a concern that's near and dear to my heart. And I'd like to loop in the LNC on a little more of what I'm doing on this issue, because you're correct. A statement on its own doesn't really do much. In my next election commission meeting, we are going to expect about 100 people to show up in this meeting on the side of election integrity. They're going to be from Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, Aloha Aina, Native Hawaiians. Every cross segment of society is coming together on this. And as a result of libertarian actions to uphold election law, we are at the tip of the spear in Hawaii. And that's been an amazing position for us. Going forward, we're attacking the Elections Commission with our resolutions. Likewise, we have state party resolutions. National party resolutions will carry serious weight and encourage our good commissioners to keep fighting the good fight and encourage the public that there is a party out there who cares about these issues. Furthermore, there are dozens of bills in my own legislature and across the country that are aimed at actually making the election integrity situation worse. This will help to fight those bills when we show up in the legislature for legislative testimony. And then there are good bills that are aimed at fixing these problems. If politicians know that a huge portion of their swing voters support reform, transparency, and integrity in our elections, they're going to be a lot more likely to do what we want them to do. So I'm looking at this from a how to pressure decision makers in existing activism efforts, but I'd love to see that expand to the LP into days of action and mobilization to really put the heat on in those targeted important moments where we need it. And I'd love to connect with you about that, because we have irons in that fire already, and I'd love to collaborate.
Mr. Ford. You're muted, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, that's outstanding, Mr. Ruff. That's exactly the type of work we need. If I can make one suggestion, and I put this out in the meeting because it should be done everywhere, whether it be the state, who very often videotapes these type of hearings, or your own, preferably your own, whoever's got a really good iPhone, videotaping that and sharing that on social media for two reasons. Number one, it reinforces the message. Number two, it gives clear direction to libertarian affiliates that when we show up with that, we need to share what happened there. And there's all sorts of good things that can happen from that. We can have that conversation offline. But when you share that, always remember that when folks testify at legislative or municipal hearings, you're not actually testifying very often to the senators or councilmen, because they, quite frankly, don't give a patoot about us. What you're actually playing to are the people who aren't there. And when you share that, that elevates libertarians in a lot of folks' eyes as people who are actually seriously engaged in legislation. So please videotape that. Please share those, and keep us posted. Thank you.
All right, there's less than a minute left. So if there's anybody else, it'll have to be short. I'm not seeing any hands. So if that is the case, we can move on to a vote. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready.
Sorry, I was muted. Mr. Bowler.
Pass for me right now.
Okay, Mr. Bost.
Yes.
Mr. Chatterton.
I vote yes.
Mr. Dar.
No.
Mr. Dassing.
Yes.
Mr. Ford.
Yes.
Ms. Robson. Ms. Robeson. Did we lose her?
Sorry, no, I'm here. I thought I unmuted, but I didn't. I actually went through this with my state excom, and we are voting no.
Mr. Nebel.
I vote yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
Mr. McGee.
Aye.
I'm voting no. Mr. Koffel.
No.
Mr. Redpath.
Oh, he voted no. You put a yes.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Redpath.
No.
Mr. Thompson.
No.
Mr. Vinson.
Yes.
Do you want me to come back to you, Mr. Nicola?
I'm gonna abstain.
Mr. Bowler.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the vote is 9 yes, 6 no, and 1 abstention.
Motion passes.
Point of
All
order.
Is that 3/4, Mr.
It's
Chair?
not.
Oh, 3/4. So what would the threshold be for 3/4? Good catch. We had 16.
16.
It'll be 12.
12.
12. All right. Well, in that case, motion fails for lack of 3/4. Next, we'll move on to item B, resolution urging non-intervention against foreign entanglements, moved by Mr. Martin. Is there a second?
I second.
I second.
Mr. Martin, would you like to speak to your motion?
I will do so briefly. I think this is an issue where we all agree, I think. I appreciate Mr. Thompson's remarks. I'm not sure if I agree with all the edits, but I do see where they're coming from, and I'm flexible. I just want to put something out there that clarifies the party's stance on this matter that's, consistent with what's happening. I expect more interventions are going to pop up, and it would be really nice to have this in our toolkit for, again, legislative testimonies or other mobilization action items. So that's my intent, and I'm happy to yield to the wisdom of the committee on how this looks when it comes out.
All right, the floor is now open for discussion.
May I offer an amendment?
Mr. Thompson.
I propose to replace paragraph 4, which begins with, whereas these current interventions and deployments, with language that I will send to Evan so he doesn't have to retype, with, whereas foreign interventions, often conducted without formal congressional declarations of war, have escalated tensions, contributed instability, come at a tremendous cost to taxpayers, and have led to an erosion of civil liberties, semicolon, and.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. We are now on discussion on the amendment.
Can we take a brief recess, Mr. Chair, while I wait to get that language?
Certainly.
Let me know when you have sent that to me, whoever you are, Mr. Thompson.
You should have it in Signal.
Okay.
Would you prefer that I email it?
I would, that way there's also a record of it. Oh, yeah, if you could send it to me via Signal, and I'm not counting the one that was sent to me by somebody else. That way I've got the record of Mr. Thompson sending it.
It has been emailed.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to put it up on the screen, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right, there's a text on the screen. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Is there any objection to the amendment? Hearing no objection, amendment passes. We're now back onto the main motion and on discussion.
May I do one more, please?
Go ahead, Mr. Thompson.
Also emailed it to Evan. It will be to replace paragraph 6, which is whereas no foreign conflict, no matter how portrayed, justifies sacrificing American sovereignty or the principles of limited government enshrined by the founders. Would replace it with whereas no foreign conflict can justify violations of human liberty or the expansion of unjust power.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Question, Mr. Thompson, what paragraph, and are you replacing the entire paragraph or is this an addition? I'm sorry.
It is paragraph 6, I believe. Let me count. Sometimes I don't know numbers. It is paragraph 6.
And is it the entire
replaced
paragraph?
with, yes.
Okay, thank you. And have you emailed it to me already?
I have.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can access my email.
Mr. Martin?
Yes, I would like to speak to the amendment if it's not out of order.
It's in order at this time. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I do object to this amendment. I don't object to the inclusion of the language, but I do object to the substitution of the language. The reason why is that whether we ideologically agree on the concept of national sovereignty or not, it is a fact that currently exists in our legal framework that the rest of America and the rest of the world acknowledges whether we agree or not. So I think it's an important thing to stand by because a lot more is at stake than just individuals getting, killed on a battlefield. This is a much bigger issue that could redraw political boundaries, that could change our way of life, and that could take away our self-determination, whether by foreign power or by domestic subversion through the military-industrial complex. So I'm passionate to keep the language of national sovereignty, not because of a philosophical commitment to the idea of collective sovereignty, but because of the necessity to make this an effective resolution. I yield.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Is there, Mr. Thompson, you have the floor?
Yeah, I would just argue that national sovereignty is collective sovereignty, right? And sovereignty is defined as the supreme, absolute, and uncontrollable power residing within a state. I oppose that as a concept. If it were individual rights we're supporting, that's fine. I don't think that we should resolve to support national sovereignty.
Mr. Martin, go ahead.
If I may respond, I don't think that the purpose here is to ideologically uphold the idea of national sovereignty in general, but to point out that this idea does exist and is at stake whether we oppose it or not. And in this case, it would not be a net benefit for liberty for us to lose national sovereignty, right? And I think that's important and worth standing up for. Otherwise, we allow the ideological perfect to become the enemy of the good.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote on this amendment. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand.
Do you want to do a roll call?
For the amendment?
Yeah. Since there was objection.
I was just gonna do a show of hands.
I'd prefer a roll call if that's okay.
Okay.
I have it ready to go.
Okay.
Did all that work, you better use it. Mr. Bowler.
Yes.
This is on the amendment. whereas no, to amend paragraph 6 to read as follows, whereas no foreign conflict can justify violations of human liberty or the expansion of unjust power. Mr. Bowler.
Yes.
Mr. Bost.
Pass.
Mr. Chatterton.
I vote no on the amendment.
Mr. Dar.
Yes.
Mr. Dassing.
No.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford.
Pass.
Ms. Robson.
Yes.
Mr. Neville.
I vote yes.
Mr. Martin.
I vote no.
Mr. McGee.
Aye.
I vote yes. Mr. Koffel.
Yes.
Mr. Redpath.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Vinson.
No.
Mr. Chair, do you want me to come back to you?
I'm going to abstain.
Mr. Bost.
I will abstain.
Mr. Ford.
I'll abstain.
Mr. Chair, the vote is 9 yes, 4 no's, and 3 abstentions.
All right, the ayes have it. Amendment passes. We're now back on to the main motion. Mr. Thompson.
I'm sorry. This is the last one, I swear. I emailed it to you already, Evan. Under the "be it further resolved" clause, item 1, move to replace it with immediately cease the initiation of force and fraud, both domestically and abroad.
Second.
Okay. Give me 1 second, Mr. You. Mr. Thompson. Give me 1 second. 943.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Martin.
For the record, can we read the original language that is being replaced or put it on the screen?
Does anybody have that language in front of them?
Yeah, it is immediately cease all military aid, arms, sales, and intelligence sharing that prolong foreign conflicts.
Which one is this one? A resolution urging non-intervention?
It is bullet point 1 under the "be it further resolved" clause.
Hold on 1 second. Let me share this screen.
And this amendment would replace that language, correct, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. We're now on to debate.
Hold on. There was a request to see the original language. So that needs to happen first. Which paragraph is this?
It is item number 1.
Top of the second page.
No, I'm sorry. If you scroll down, literally labeled 1 there.
Okay. How did you list this item? Okay, we'll do item 1.
All right. Are we all on the same page?
Sorry. So it's this item: immediately cease all military aid, arms sales, and intelligence sharing and prolonged conflicts.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
And did you email me?
I did.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Mr. Martin and Mr. Bost. Mr. Martin, go ahead, because we only have about a minute left on this.
Thank you. I think the most salient of Mr. Thompson's objections to this language was about intelligence sharing. If we knew of an attack on London, shouldn't we warn them? Of course we can. But the question is, do we want the CIA doing that without oversight, or do we want them to do it through our public officials? By stripping this language, I believe it significantly weakens this resolution. It's number 1 for a reason, because these are the tools that drag us into the conflicts in the first place. The founders said, no entangling foreign alliances, entanglements. That's what we should be standing for. And that's why number 1 is to reduce foreign entanglements. I yield.
Mr. Bost, 20 seconds.
Yes, I think the original language actually directly addresses the topic of the entire resolution, whereas the replacement is just a generic, although important, libertarian statement that does not directly speak to the resolution. I would offer that if it comes to it, that we include both statements, but I would prefer we keep the original. Thank you.
All right, we are at time. So we'll go ahead and move on to a vote on all items. So we'll go ahead and start with I'm assuming a ballot on this one. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready.
This is on the amend item 1. Immediately cease the initiative of force and fraud, both domestically and abroad. Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Bost,
No.
Mr. Chatterton,
I vote no.
Mr. Dar,
Yes.
Mr. Dassing,
No.
Mr. Ford,
No.
Ms. Robson,
Yes.
Mr. Nebel,
I'll vote no.
Mr. Martin,
No to intelligence sharing in the CIA.
Mr. McGee.
Aye.
I vote yes. Mr. Koffel,
Yes.
Mr. Redpath,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Vinson,
No.
Chair Nikala.
I'll abstain.
Mr. Chair, the votes are 8 yes, 7 no, and 1 abstention.
All right, the ayes have it. We're now back on to the main motion as amended, and we'll proceed directly to a vote.
Give me 1 second. Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
you guys are seeing my voting screen, correct?
Yes.
Mr.
It's
Bost,
supposed to have the naked people, right?
don't joke. Mr. Bost,
Although we just weakened it, yes.
Mr. Chatterton,
I vote yes.
Mr. Dar,
Yes.
Mr. Dassing,
Sorry, pass.
Mr. Ford,
Yes.
Ms. Robson,
Yes.
Mr. Nebel,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
I said I'd support it even if the CIA kneecapped it. So no surprises here. I'll vote yes.
Mr. McGee.
I'll vote yes.
I'll vote yes. Mr. Koffel,
Yes.
Mr. Redpath,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
As a CIA agent, apparently, I vote yes.
Mr. Vinson,
Yes.
Mr. Nikala, would you like me to come back to you?
I'll vote aye.
Mr. Dassing,
I'll abstain.
Mr. Chair, the vote is 15 yes, 0 no, and 1 abstention.
All right, motion passes. Next is resolution in support of federal election integrity efforts, moved by Mr. Martin. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
All right, Mr. Martin, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that there may be some concern from those on, I'll be honest, I think there's a lot of politicization happening around the election integrity issue. I want to try to cut through that if I can. This is a narrowly focused resolution that focuses on our state party's ability to access election data. This is absolutely critical. My state party cannot access the state voter rolls, despite the law saying we're allowed to, and we're hardly alone. And even in states where they say, oh, you can access this, they make you jump through a million hoops, and the data they provide is often deeply flawed and not very useful. This is actually against the law. And one of the checks in the United States against unconstitutional and illegal actions by the state governments is the federal voting laws that are currently trying to be enforced by the DOJ. So this is something that's happening right now that we could weigh in on in a very nonpartisan, straightforward sense. Some of you may remember that before I was elected to the LNC, there was an email exchange about my inability to access these very records in Hawaii. And the DOJ was on that exchange. And I believe that that exchange, especially given the timeline and the nature of their complaint, directly led to the suits that are occurring now. I have candidates that weren't able to get their data. And this is a problem that goes back for years. And again, this affects a plethora of states, many of which are mentioned in the resolution. It does not address the widespread issue of election fraud and election failure. It does not even attempt to talk about any of that. This is really just about letting our state parties have the data they need to plan elections. So I really hope that we can not allow partisan concerns to muddy the water on this, because our candidates need data. And if we're going to spend all this money on ballot access and not get the free data that would make all of that cheaper and easier, I mean, it just seems like this is basic responsibility to me. We need to weigh in on this, and we need to carry this torch forward. And that's my opinion. So even though I know we weren't in 3/4 agreement on the election integrity resolution we heard before, this one is a lot more narrowly tailored, and I think is a lot less potentially political, but still really important, and has the potential to really move the needle for liberty and let our state parties be able to up their game. So I know I'm representing a lot of state chairs who have talked to me personally about this issue and asked me to bring this before you guys. So I really hope that it will get a favorable consideration today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Mr. Thompson, and then Ms. Robson. Mr. Thompson.
Hey, I was going to request if we could get the text of the resolution on the screen, please, to review, because two of the resolutions were somewhat similar, and I think that I'm keeping them straight. I just want to be sure. And also, if this is in fact that resolution, would Mr. Martin be able to cite the federal law that requires states to provide us with voter lists?
Yes, they are cited in the first and second whereas provisions in the resolution, including the Civil Rights Act, the HAVA Act, and other relevant portions of election law.
The Civil Rights Act requires my state to give me a free voter list?
It requires, if you want me to quote the language, I can pull it up for you, but I believe it requires that they provide certain kinds of public records that have been determined by the courts to apply to elections. It is also the provision under which these lawsuits are being brought, and a provision that I cited in my own suit.
Mr. Martin, just which one is this? Is this the widespread election or the suit resolution? This is the
suit resolution. It is a resolution supporting enforcement of election law. That's it.
I'm just trying. I'm unable to open Adobe Acrobat right now. So I'm trying to do this.
I can say a few words if you need a minute.
No, I've got to, it sucks because the way I've got to open it is like this. Unfortunately.
We'll be at ease until you can find it and put it on the screen. So
Oh no, I've got it.
You got
it's just not easily readable because I'm opening it via the email. Because Adobe Acrobat's not opening for me. So this is the language.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
There are numerous provisions in the Civil Rights Act, which is kind of a large section of law that deal with public records disclosure. And those are relevant to the elections question along with others. And those are up on in that first paragraph at the end.
We have 5 minutes remaining. I'm going to go to Mr. Robson, followed by Mr. Vincent and Mr. Chatterton. Ms. Robson?
Okay, thank you for the Ms. because you called me Mr. a second ago. So
I apologize.
I'll forgive you. It's all right. I just wanted to, so I agree with this for the most part, but like I went to my state executive committee because of course I represent exactly one state and we don't have this issue here. And they're feeling uncomfortable. They think that this should be a state by state issue. It shouldn't be the LNC making a general statement because it's not necessarily the case in all states. And in California, you can actually get the voter rolls very easily. And as a political party, we get them for free. So it's different here than it is in Hawaii, obviously, but I think that it really should be a state by state issue, not a LNC issue. And I think that, we can be supportive of the states as far as ballot access, but I don't think that we can make a blanket statement against all states saying that they are violating these laws when not all states are. So I will be voting no on direction of my state, but I wanted to explain because I understand that this is a big issue for a lot of states. So I just wanted to explain that.
Mr. Vincent?
Yeah, here in Florida, we don't have an issue getting our voter registration data, but it is very helpful. And I will be voting yes because it is helpful to the states that don't have it. And as the LNC, I think we should take a stand and help these states that don't have this available to them. And although you're representing your state here on the LNC, everyone, you are also representing the party. This overall helps the party. I don't see the state by state argument holding any water here. Just because your state is doing good doesn't mean you can't help other states and help the party as a whole. That's just how I see it. Help others out, help Austin out, and help these states get the data so we can send email blasts to all these libertarians that aren't even hearing from us. Doesn't make sense to vote no on this. Doesn't make sense at all.
Mr. Chatterton?
Thank you. So in similar spirit to the last comment, but to add a few more angles, I think that this situation is very relevant for the LNC to take action on. This is involving specific federal actions that are enforcing this matter. It's relating directly to specific federal legislation that's been cited and is cited in the bill in the resolution in more detail. And furthermore, it's directly involving a member of this board, Mr. Martin, I think, is entitled to receive this information under the laws in his state and was denied it upon extensive requests. And that's being denied to the detriment of one of our affiliates. And as was brought up on one of the earlier resolutions, we need to consider, I think, the power of the national party to put this issue out there and stand behind it, to recognize that we expect these things to be enforced everywhere in the country, regardless of whether it's affecting every state. It's affecting many states, and it's very narrow, it's objective. I would encourage any of those who are having reservations about this, if it doesn't affect their states, to maybe consider an abstention instead of a no vote, to help us achieve the 3/4 policy, as this is a very relevant statement, and I believe it's something very important for the LNC to be in support of.
Mr. Bost, and then Mr. Bowler, and then Mr. Thompson, because I want to get the people that haven't spoken yet. We only have 1 minute and 15 seconds left.
I withdraw. I think most of my comments have been covered.
Mr. Bowler?
Yep, Alabama's been impacted by this before. We even had our own lawsuit against the state. There's a bill that may make things better for our state, but I'll be voting yes because I do think this is an important issue.
Mr. Thompson and then Mr. Martin. Oh, Mr. McMahon, actually. Mr. Thompson, have you already spoken?
I believe I did at the beginning, yes.
Okay, let me go Mr. McMahon and then Mr. Thompson. Mr. McMahon. You're muted, Mr. McMahon.
My only concern is the language up at the very top that talks about the DOJ lawsuit filed and pending. We don't know what those are. And I am concerned that it is an effort to require Minnesota to give voting records to the Department of Justice. I've seen that it was actually requested here in Indiana by the Justice Department and DHS, and our Secretary of State and our governor capitulated to it, which I think was inappropriate. They just handed it over. So that is my concern. That is my major concern. I do believe state parties should be able to access. I believe locally, you should be able to go as an individual and see who's registered to vote, who's not registered to vote. But I have concerns with that language as it is, and that's it. I'll yield.
I apologize, we are at time. So we'll be moving directly into a vote.
By 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Move to extend time by 10 minutes, please.
Objection.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Motion to extend time by 10 minutes. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Bost, did you speak to be recognized?
Yes, at the near the end of time, questions were raised concerning portions of the resolution, and I think answers may be forthcoming. I believe we should give the time to respond to the concerns that were raised.
Mr. McGee?
Again, going back to
This is on the question of extending
Mr. McMahon's
time.
concerns, I think, yes, on the question of extending time, I think there are very relevant questions raised by Mr. McMahon that I would like to potentially explore so that we can make this resolution something that we can all agree on. That may not happen, but I would like to entertain it.
Mr. Chatterton?
I'll be very brief, as I think we've moved pretty efficiently through the other resolutions, and this is the only one where we've had reasonable topics to continue, so I would encourage everyone to support a few extra minutes.
Is there any chance Mr. Martin would amend it to 5 minutes as a response? I don't think that 10 minutes is needed for a response.
It's already been moved and seconded, so we'll have to take it as is unless there's a motion to amend the motion to extend time.
I'd make that motion.
Is there a second to amend the motion to extend time to 5 minutes?
Second.
Is there any objection to that amendment? Hearing no objection to the amendment, we're now back on the amendment, which is to extend time by 5 minutes. Is there any objection? I know, Bill Redpath, you made an objection earlier. If there's no objection.
I'm not objecting now.
Okay, all right, we're extended for 5. Mr. Martin, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'd love to address some of the concerns raised. First of all, with regard to federal access, we're not giving them any data they don't already have. This is just about accountability for what the states claim they have. There's an important difference there. We're not giving the federal government some unaccountable list here, right? And this is important too. The federal and state laws of all 50 states require that the states do provide this data not only to us, but to the federal government as well. So I don't see any good reason, I mean, other than the principle of I don't like handing any data over to them either. But in this case, it's pretty clear that the law requires that. And so the DOJ has put themselves in the same position as us, asking for the same data we're asking under the exact same laws and exact same standing. So that gives us an incredible opportunity. Two, I'd like to address Ms. Robson's concerns and the state of California's concerns. I strongly disagree with the idea that a state can take on this issue alone because it is a national law. It is a federal action. It is a federal initiative that affects all the states, and especially those that are not complying with the sections of law that make California so successful. California is a great example that because you guys have this stuff, and this is not a problem for you, you're able to reach a lot more libertarians. And voting, I would just kind of re-encourage you along with what Mr. Vincent said about if you think that this is something that doesn't affect your state and you're inclined to vote against it, I would encourage you to abstain because other state parties badly need this data. And it's good for us overall to make this happen. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to address them. Otherwise, I'll yield the floor.
Mr. Chatterton and then Ms. Robson, and I'm not sure whose hand came up after that, but we'll get to it. Mr. Chatterton, Ms. Robson.
I'll be very brief again. I think I understand and appreciate the concern raised by Mr. McMahon about the potentially broad statement of the pending lawsuits, but I would point to later in that paragraph that it does paint a very narrow scope with the other provisions included, that it's only referring to the suits that are specifically encroaching on the provisions that are cited in those laws that are there. So I think that would generally narrow and prevent the concern where requests that would not be, called for under those matters to be, not in scope of what we're endorsing. So.
Ms. Robson?
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of respond as far as one of the things that was said is that, I should vote however and not necessarily represent my state. I take exception to that because that's not, in my opinion, what I am here for. But I just want to say that, one of the concerns that was brought up is that this is basically and this is by my state, asking the feds to solve problems that may or may not exist. And they may or may not exist in one state or another. This is the reason why, it may sound lame, but I did go to my state executive committee before this. I am possibly inclined to abstain because of the compelling arguments that have been made. I'm not saying for sure because I'm actually in chat with people, but I do appreciate that this is a problem for other states. It's just, I wanted just to explain, going after me saying I shouldn't listen to my state. I don't like that inference, but I shouldn't. I take exception to that, and I will vote the way that I feel is appropriate. Thank you.
Mr. Boss, and then Mr. Thompson. We have 1 minute, 15 seconds left.
Yes, Chris, I didn't take any comments to construe that Ms. Robson should not follow the will of her state, but that maybe her state was wrong. And I don't remember what else I was going to say because that came up at the last second and then I lost my train of thought. So next person.
Mr. Thompson?
Hey, so I still don't think there's a federal law that gives me free voter lists. Like I know some states do that. I don't think there's a national law that gives me free voter lists. It'd be nice though. On the Department of Justice lawsuits, 2 judges have said that the DOJ's actions were not following the law. And if that is the case, then the Libertarian Party, by doing this, would be supporting illegal actions. The Minnesota situation with ICE is largely about coercing states to get these voter records. And I don't think that we should even adjacently support what's happening there. And despite being a CIA agent, I don't think the federal government should police voter records this way. I am supportive of our state affiliates getting access to voter rolls. And that
we are
part's
at
good.
time.
I don't think that the rest of the resolution. Okay.
All right, we are currently at time. We'll proceed to a vote. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Bowler,
Yes.
Mr. Bost,
Yes.
Mr. Chatterton,
Yes.
Mr. Dar, you muted yourself in your answer, Mr. Dar.
No.
Mr. Dassing,
Yes.
Mr. Ford,
Yes.
Ms. Robson,
Pass.
Mr. Neville,
Abstain.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. McGee,
Abstain.
I'm concerned with the DOJ portion. I'm sorry, I'm voting no. Mr. Koffel,
No.
Mr. Redpath,
No.
Mr. Thompson,
No.
Mr. Vincent.
Yes.
Chair Nikayla, would you like me to come back to you?
I'll abstain.
Ms. Robson,
This requires 3/4.
yes.
Abstain.
What is 3/4 on 12? Well, I don't think it's enough, but
9.
9. Motion fails for lack of 3/4. All right, right into item number D, which is Mr. Watkins' motion, but he is not here to move it. So we'll move on to announcements.
I'll move it.
You want to move it?
Yeah.
There's a motion to move Mr. Martian, might as well be Mr. Martian. Mr. Watkins' Mars resolution. I guess we're trying to get Elon back. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Martin, would you like to speak to the Mars resolution?
Mr. Chair,
Mr.
point
McMahon?
of order. Mr. Watkins didn't actually submit a resolution. He just said in his email that he wanted a quote Mars resolution for 40 minutes. There was no text.
I'll
I
object.
think it was a joke.
I'll object to the consideration of the question.
Point of information, he did actually submit the resolution text. And I
And
think
I will
Not
object to the
there.
consideration of the question.
Okay, there's a motion
Second.
to object to the consideration of the motion.
I'll second Mr. McGee's motion.
All right. So we'll need to move on to a vote on the objection to the consideration.
Could we consider a hands vote, perhaps?
I think it would need to be, well, we probably do a ballot because it's substantive.
Are you guys seeing my ballot screen?
Yes.
Okay. Ready when you are, Mr. Chair.
All right, go ahead.
Mr. Bowler,
Yes to objecting.
Mr. Bost,
Abstain.
Mr. Chatterton,
Abstain.
Mr. Dar,
Yes.
Mr. Dassing,
No.
Mr. Ford,
Abstain.
Ms. Robson,
Robson, yes.
Mr. Neville,
No.
Mr. Martin,
pass.
Mr. McGee,
Aye.
I vote aye. Mr. Koffel,
Yes.
Mr. Redpath,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Mr. Vincent,
Yes.
Mr. Nikhil, would you like me to come back to you?
I vote aye.
Mr. Martin,
I'll vote no.
okay, Mr. Chair, the vote to object to consideration is 10 yeses, 3 noes, and 3 abstentions.
Motion passes. The objection passes. Who's speaking?
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I'd like to make an announcement at the end.
Okay, we are on announcements. So Mr. Martin, you are recognized.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got to see an amazing thing. We got to see the protection of military spending, intelligence sharing, and foreign aid. And we got to see the shoot down of efforts to give state parties their basic votes. In fact, we saw California asking, very likely, people in Adrian Malagon's circle who originally shot down our complaint, which triggered these DOJ lawsuits, in my opinion. I think this is extremely dangerous. I think that we're intentionally not doing things that we should be doing for reasons other than what's good for the party. And I'm extremely concerned by that. No one's trying to coerce anyone's votes, and asking states to abstain who may have a problem with other states simply trying to get voter data for their candidates that they're legally entitled to, that these other states have, is mind-blowing to me, but not surprising, sadly. And I hope that people remember this at Grand Rapids, that you're hearing a lot of noise and a lot of mockingbird bullshit. But the truth is that The business is on the table. These guys don't want to do anything, and they definitely don't want to protect your rights. They don't want to protect your elections. They want to control the LNC, and they want to make sure that it is managed as a movement which is useful to the Democrats, to Antifa, and it keeps Republicans away, keeps us from building our base over
Mr.
time.
Martin, I would ask that whatever announcement you make, please be within the
Confines of the policy manual?
yeah.
I just think that supporting the CIA should be outside.
Yeah, but could you just like shut up?
You know, yeah.
Everybody
I mean,
behave.
but I have the floor, and I don't see any kind of germanity enforcement on this announcement. We just saw what happened. You all just saw what happened. Think what you will of me. Think what you will about all the caucus drama bullshit, right? That is exactly how the intelligence agencies infiltrate and control political organizations. It's exactly what they do. And they have manuals on it. And you are watching these things play out before your eyes. And so I urge you as delegates, as people, to remember this and remember that unfortunately, no politician, myself, anyone on this board, anyone that you vote for is safe from the pressures and dangers that come with being a decision maker and having that power. It takes a lot of character to resist that. And when you do, they attack you for it. They'll make up stuff. They'll totally fabricate fake objections that make absolutely no sense just to stop you libertarians from expressing your voice. I wrote the policy that got us millions of hits on ICE, and yet these guys and their friends call me an ICE supporter. Let that sink in.
Policy, the policy that went out, the resolution that went out today that Mr. Martin wrote on ICE. The one that went out, they got millions of hits, was the one I put out on Saturday. Mr. Robson and Mrs. Robson, and then Mr. McGee, then Mr. Ford. Miss Robson. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. It's Ms., but whatever. I just want to. This is an announcement. I guess it's an announcement. I believe that Mr. Malagon is living his best life. He has nothing to do with the California Party, and he certainly has nothing to do with me. So my announcement is that that last thing about Mr. Malagon having somehow to do with anything that I said or did tonight. Yeah, I haven't talked to him, and I think he's living a better life. Thank you.
Mr. McGee.
So my announcement is the effort that Mr. Martin has taken in crafting these resolutions that. So what?
Go ahead.
Am I muted? Okay,
no,
sorry.
You're good.
I would like to say that I sincerely appreciate the initiative that Mr. Martin has taken in crafting these resolutions, and I think he's moving in the right direction. I think the issue here is we should probably workshop the exact language. There's a reason why the policy manual requires that there be 3/4 agreement among the committee before we actually pass any such resolution. And I would encourage him, if he's genuine in wanting us to actually adopt these resolutions, to just let's work offline and put something together we can all agree with and get this going. I mean, I really appreciate his energy here. So that's all I have to say.
Mr. Ford.
Yeah, just briefly, please, as a reminder, take some time out of respect for Mr. McGee's work and people on the committee and in the hotels that have worked so hard to present this. Please take time this week to read those proposals. Number two, if you haven't gotten your hotel room, please do. And number three, make it a promise that sometime during February you'll go to a town meeting, a municipal meeting, a public hearing, and contribute as a libertarian. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful week. And I'm sorry this has to come to an end tonight.
Well, you're still on the hook for the our executive session here in a few minutes, Mr. Ford.
Excellent.
So the ride continues.
Excellent.
Mr. Chatterton, Mr. Bost.
Thank you. I wanted to ask just a quick clarification, Mr. Chair. You pointed out that there was a different statement. I wanted to ask clarity on the timing. Didn't that happen right after this board approved the policy statement regarding ICE? Was there a separate one issued at the same time?
I put out a statement on Saturday after the Alex Pretty incident. That one made international, well, it got a lot of attention on X and it got on the Hill. We did put out the resolution put forward by Mr. Martin that was accepted by the LNC. I think that was today. I asked for it to go out a couple of days ago, but it went out today. So that one is currently circulating.
Wasn't the resolution passed before that previous statement went out? And I also wanted to comment on the statement from Mr. McGee about
Well, these are announcements, so
encouraging
big announcements.
encouraging the workshopping of motions. Mr. Martin shared those resolutions like weeks ago, and only the first feedback on those came today, I think. So, while it was encouraged to, workshop things to get them through, that was done, and then the feedback was saved until very last minute and then shot down. So,
Mr. Boss, then Mr. Thompson.
In the spirit of the previous announcements, when we asked for more time at the beginning, I think that time could have saved the last motion and improved the one that did pass without removing important language if we'd had more time, which we asked for at the beginning. Thank you.
Mr. Thompson?
Yeah, mine is not actually an announcement. I just wanted to ask, during the announcements portion, what is expected as an announcement? Like, is it just like a general LNC rant portion? Is it public comment for us, or is it actually for announcements?
Traditionally, we let everybody speak. I think we need to put something in there where it's actually an announcement and not just ranting on the LNC. However, what I would suggest to the body, and this may be helpful, if we have resolutions, especially multiple resolutions, we should have a time the LNC meets before the meeting on a phone call, and we can workshop the resolutions and hash it out there so those that want to participate can, and workshop the language. It doesn't have to be an official LNC meeting. We can do it outside of meetings. We're allowed to meet whenever we want. It doesn't have to be officially broadcast. We can just have meetings where we discuss something like workshopping a motion. That's allowed. We can do that. So, Mr. Dar. Oh, okay. Mr. Vincent?
Oh, sorry, it just unmuted. Hey, if any of you happen to be in Texas, April 10th through 12th, 2026, we have the state convention for Texas out here in Abilene, Texas. Wonderful convention. You can find out more information at 2026.lptexas.org. Hope to see any neighboring states and friends that want to come out here.
Holy crap, an announcement.
Mr. Vincent?
Yeah, here in Florida, we're having our convention February 20th and 21st in Clearwater, Florida at a winery. So check out lpfcon.org for that information. I'll also be performing at Clearwater Comedy Club on the 21st. So if you're in town, go drink some wine at the convention and then come get some laughs at Clearwater Comedy Club.
Rob, who did we see in Rhode Island?
Mark Norman.
Yeah.
He put me on the list. Fuck you.
Well, at least it wasn't this cold outside. Otherwise, us Florida boys would be in trouble, but it was still really cold.
It was cold.
It was a good time, though. All right, that is time for announcements. We'll be moving on to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Question.
Is there a second?
I have a question,
Second.
Mr. Chair.
Is it a point of order?
It's a point of information. You
Is it?
mentioned earlier about the Hill article, and I recall it
Hold
opening.
on. I'll answer your question once we finish up.
Already
Hold
has
on one
passed.
second, Mr. Martin. All right, we got a motion, a second. Is there any objection to adjournment?
You guys just like silencing us.
Hold on,
Bad.
you're not being recognized. This is out of order. All right,
It is.
hearing none, we are adjourned at 9:07 p.m. Thank you very
So,
much.
My question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I mean, come on the Hill. They say we passed a new policy, and then you get up there and make a statement unilaterally without mentioning the policy that passed that apparently was used to open that door. Is that earned media?
Let me look at the Hill article because I don't remember them mentioning a policy. They mentioned the article.
The body acts that might be newsworthy. The chair just saying abolish ICE is great, but not normally newsworthy. So I'm just curious what happened there.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it got 3 million. It says that the name of the article is Libertarian National Chair Abolish ICE. and it mentions the article or the statement that I wrote on behalf of the party. Doesn't mention a policy that I can see. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I suggested that we abolish ICE in a resolution last fall, and you were against that.
all right. Anyway, we're off to the next meeting.
The recording has stopped.
Anytime you want.
Mr. McMahon, whenever you're ready to begin the executive committee meeting.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is December 1st, 2026 at 9:09 p.m. My name is Stephen Acala, Chairman of the Libertarian National Committee. I'm going to be calling this meeting of the Executive Committee to order. Mr. McMahon or Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with roll call, please.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Chair. Okay. Chair Nakalo.
Present.
Vice Chair Dar.
Here.
Treasurer Redpath.
Yes.
Secretary McMahon is here. Mr. Ford.
Here.
Mr. Watkins. Not present. Mr. Chair, there's 5 present, 1 not.
All right, we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda. The chair is seeking a motion to adopt the agenda.
Can we see it on the screen, please?
Hold on. There you go.
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we're now on to the adoption of the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, is there any objection to the agenda? Hearing none, addenda is adopted. We're now on to ballot access encumbrance for LP of Maryland. Mr. Redpath, you have the floor.
Yes, and I will have a motion at some point here, but first I think it would be good to hear. I see the chair of the Libertarian Party of Maryland, Mr. Kyle O'Donnell, on here. One I don't know, is Travis Laurel on here, the treasurer of the LP of Maryland, or not?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, so I'd like to recognize, get an update as to the situation in Maryland. And certainly it would be appropriate for people to ask questions if they so desire, I think, of the chair of the Libertarian Party of Maryland.
Point of information.
Yep.
Point of information.
While Chairman O'Donnell is speaking, Mr. Redpath, can you send me your motion?
My motion will be based on what will be crafted after we get a current update on the Maryland situation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. O'Donnell.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Maryland is currently undergoing petitioning for ballot access. We're usually able to keep ballot access for about a decade. This is just one of those times where we have to petition for it again. The Maryland Board of Election uses a multi-line signature petition, so it is a little more complicated of a petition form. Our threshold is 10,000 valid signatures. LP Maryland is currently sitting at about 5,500 raw signatures, so we're a little over halfway there on a raw basis. We've spent about 25,000 US dollars, and we have about $25,000 left in the bank. We plan on exhausting all of the funds that we have saved up for ballot access, which should get us around 11,000, maybe 12,000 raw signatures. The difficulty that we face in Maryland is that they recently changed state law so that when we submit our petitions, we can no longer add to them. Historically, if we were short or they invalidated some, we could go back and add maybe 1, 2, or 3,000 more to bring it up. Unfortunately now, if we are challenged and if we are invalidated below 10,000 valid, we lose all of it. So we lose all 10,000 signatures, 12,000 signatures. We lose all $50,000 that we have spent on it. And so the Libertarian Party of Maryland, having spent significant amount of our resources, humbly requests that the National Libertarian Party assist and help secure that 50,000 that Maryland is spending. And at this time, I yield the floor. Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. O'Donnell. What is the you said we're at 5,500 right now, and I think you said and that's gross signatures when we need 10,000 net signatures or valid signatures. And so that's 11,000. I'm sorry, did you say you have $25,000 left to spend on this?
Approximately, yes.
Okay, so that's $25,000. And so were you planning on continuation of $5 per sig as the compensation?
Yes, we initially did volunteers only, and then we did $3 per sig and did not get any paid signers. And so at $5 per sig, we do have a few signers.
Okay, but here's my situation right now, or this what I perceive to be the situation, and that is that we're moving too slowly at $5 per signature right now. You know, I don't think there's been very much increase in the number of signatures, and we've got a deadline now of July 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we have 5 months to finish this petition drive, and correct me if I'm wrong, these signatures that have been gathered can't be carried over to 2028. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but if we don't finish this petition drive by July 1, including these signatures are all going to be worthless in the future. Is that correct?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Redpath. Fortunately, signatures in the state of Maryland are valid for 2 years after signing.
Okay.
So we could carry them over outside of this gubernatorial cycle and submit it for the presidential cycle.
Okay. And would that be good for 2 election cycles in that instance or not? In other words, if we did not complete this petition drive for 2026 and we said, okay, we're going to use these signatures and try to get on for 2028, would that be for 2028 and 2030?
It's only valid for you get a pass on the next election cycle. So in Maryland, you have to hit 1% in the next election to maintain party status. So if we submit, let's say in the fall, we would get a pass for the presidential, and then we could run the next gubernatorial as well.
Okay,
so we get 2.
So the answer is if we don't complete this petition drive by July 1, which would entitle us to have a gubernatorial candidate and I believe other candidates as well in 26 and 28, then so we move past that July 1 deadline, and then would we be looking at a July 1? You said the signatures are good for 2 years. So are some of these signatures going to, pardon my phraseology, rot here, so to speak? When somebody signs the petition, is that signature only good for 2 years from the date of signing?
Correct. We're not anticipated to lose any signatures from expiration.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, I will, Mr. McMahon has a question there, so I will, Mr. McMahon, why don't you go ahead?
I've got a couple questions. Are you petitioning under the name of a candidate for governor?
No, the petition is for party status. We are not petitioning to have one candidate. We are petitioning for the party status. And then once we have that status, we can run any candidate for a statewide office.
Okay, so my next question is, we were sent a tweet from Maryland that said in response to a reporter that there likely weren't going to be any Maryland Libertarian candidates this year. And I'm assuming that is because it also stated, we lost ballot access. The other thing was, though, the Republican candidate for governor spoke at your convention and also put out a tweet thanking you, correct?
Yes, the state of Maryland Libertarian Party of Constitution uh, has our meetings, central committee meetings, open to the public. And a libertarian candidate that ran for statewide office invited several people to come to our convention. And we have libertarians at the convention. We have Democrats at our convention, and we have independents and Republicans.
But
It's a very
this wasn't just an attendee, though. They spoke to the convention body, correct?
After we had much like we have announcements during this LNC meeting. Yes.
My final question would be, since it's going to be based on gubernatorial, do you plan on running a gubernatorial libertarian candidate?
We do have a candidate that is a very seasoned, that has run for statewide office before. His name is Jason Wonder, and he has said that he would run for governor if we needed a candidate to run. But he's not currently running a campaign. He's not fundraising. There's no staff, so
I don't know that I would run too if the party didn't ballot access. I'd probably wait until they got the party status before I declared I was going to dump a bunch of money and time in it. So I completely understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah, but it would be a very short campaign, and it would be a very difficult campaign.
Do you think you guys would be able to muster the support and resources to get the 1% for the gubernatorial candidate?
Historically, we have been able to reach 1%. But when I think about, we get a pass on one election. I think it is strategic to have it be the presidential, so that we can get more run out of this. So we can run a proper presidential campaign, so we can run a proper gubernatorial campaign instead of like this split-second last rush across the finish line.
Well, so then, okay, sorry, I do have another question then. So in that case, if it's to focus more on the presidential, then wouldn't it be better if we took the signatures that were gathered right now, put those in the box, come back in 2028, finish the petition drive, and then you've got the presidential and the gubernatorial following that? Is that what you're saying?
Thank you for your question. The state of the Libertarian Party of Maryland intends to submit our petitions in 2026. When we exhaust all $50,000 that the state of Maryland has spent, we should have over 10,000 raw, and we want to submit because every month that we wait, there is the potential that someone will move addresses, and then their petition is no longer valid. So I think we should strike while the iron is hot, rather than coming back in 2 years.
Okay. I have a few questions. Mr. O'Donnell, how much money is Maryland asking the LNC for in this instance? What is your signature target, and how much is it going to cost?
If we finish around let's say $11,000 to $12,000, or 11 to 12,000 raw signatures, ideally, I think if we could submit 15,000 raw signatures, I think that would be a very strong submission. That's what the Kennedy team submitted, and that's what the Green Party submitted. And so that's a delta of like 3,000 to 4,000 raw signatures at $5 a sig. That's like 15,000 to 20,000.
So I'm gonna be really honest. The LNC is not in a good money position right now.
Okay, understand.
We are not in positive cash flow. Some months yes, some months no. It varies. We have money in the bank, but that's our piggy bank right now. That's our emergency fund. We're trying not to tap into it. We didn't budget any money for ballot access this year. Case by case basis, like yourself, which we're considering a la carte. I'm wondering a few things. Potentially, I I would like to talk to staff about potentially putting together a fundraising drive and spending some money on that to raise money specifically for this petition drive for two reasons. One is because we don't have the money. The second reason is um, I'd like to get donors bought into this petition drive because we have donors, they give money sometimes when we ask them, and if we ask them the right way, they're more likely to give potentially. I'd have to ask the board money to do that, but that's the first issue. The second thing is it does sound like this isn't as pressing as it has to be on by July 1st. There is a potentiality here where it could be submitted July 1st in 2027 or 2028. It's a 2-year deadline, so it'd be 2027, I would assume. Explain
Thank
that
you
to
for
me.
the question. It's the signature petition expires 2 years after the date of signing.
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay, and the signatures can be submitted at any time as long as they're
correct,
valid. So if they're
correct.
valid at the time of submission, then they will be, will they not, or will they be valid when, what is the next deadline after this July 1st?
It would be 2 years.
It would be 2 years. So
Yes,
so in 2 years, July 1st, 2028, they 2 years from now, they would the petitions you have now wouldn't be valid at all. Would that be
correct.
correct? So it has to be July 1st, 2026.
If we wanted to run a gubernatorial. So we could submit it in September or November,
You can
or
submit it any time.
or
Okay, so
next summer. Yeah,
you can submit it any time. There's not a deadline that you have to submit it by a certain date. It's only if you wanted to run a gubernatorial candidate. But if you submit it, let's say a year from now or a
yes,
year
sir.
and a half from now, you would still be able to participate in the presidential election, get
Correct,
1%, maintain ballot access.
correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I've got a question and a comment.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Um, Question. So if this is a party petition, if it succeeds, correct me if I'm wrong, but this means that the Libertarian Party of Maryland, with 0 further signatures to be gathered by any candidate, can run for any partisan office in the state. Is that correct?
Correct. That is accurate.
Okay, so that means Congress, that means State House, State Senate, everything, no more signatures to be gathered. You can run for every partisan office in the state. All right.
Correct.
So there, and hopefully there will be candidate recruitment going on
Yes.
to that end. All right. But I also want to make a statement here. I mean, what is the current pace of signature gathering, Mr. O'Donnell? Like about how many signatures per week right now are being gathered at $5 per signature?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Redpath. Unfortunately, we have just had an ice storm,
Well,
so we're
but
not collecting any signatures in the
right,
depth of
but
winter.
generally
But
over the past, 2 or 3
yes,
months, what's the average gathering of signatures per week?
when the weather warms up, we hope to accomplish 1,000 to 1,200 a month.
1,000 to 1,200 a month.
Yes,
Well,
and
that we're not gonna hit July 1 then, because
correct.
we've got we've got 10 we've got, and by the way, the number that in talking with Travis Larrell, the gross number of signatures that he had talked about was 16,000 gross to get the 10,000 net, because they do have fairly stringent standards about the acceptability of signatures in Maryland. So anyway, in my discussions with him, he was talking about 16,000 gross sigs to be comfortable with the 10,000 net, particularly since there is no longer that cure period in Maryland. So what I'm saying here is, and I've received feedback from petitioners here, and and I will just, what is passed is passed. What's water over the dam is. But what I'm hearing now is that $5 per gross signature isn't going to get this done. I mean, from Bob Lynch, the hotels are expensive. Maryland's an expensive area, and when we're paying X dollars per sig, that's it. all the expenses are the responsibilities of the petitioners. And I've heard that $5 isn't cutting the mustard. Frankly, I called a good friend who's a professional petitioner recently and said, geez, what do you think? What do you think we ought to be paying in Maryland? Or what's the rate going to be? His first answer was $10 per signature. And I'm not even, I think $7 probably will incentivize our core Libertarian Party petitioners, professional petitioners, to come to Maryland to do this. But I don't think anything less is frankly going to get the job done. And I can't even swear that $7 will get it done. But I don't think 5 is going to get us there, at least by the July 1, 2026 deadline. And I just think we need to be more realistic in terms of what the cost is going to be for this.
Mr. McMahon?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have one more. I'm sorry. One more
did you-
comment, and that is, it's going to be more expensive in 2028 than in 2026 to petition. The price is going to go up. Inflation, presidential candidates running in 2028. That was one thing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for wanting to say this. I actually think it's going to be cheaper now than to wait.
I'm going to go to Mr. McMahon, then Mr. Ford. Mr. McMahon?
So right now, Maryland has about 5,500 gross SIGs. They need about another 10,000. They're putting up 25,000 at Mr. Redpath's $7 per SIG. They need an additional 45,000. What's funny is in 2014, when me and Mr. Redpath were on the LNC together, I went on a tirade about giving Maryland money for ballot access. And I'm not doing that this time, Mr. O'Donnell. I actually support us encumbering this and pulling it from the building fund if necessary. I also think we should do fundraising to try to get donors to support. I'd like to see Maryland increase its fundraising asks. But my reasoning for wanting to support it is this. You have a candidate that's ready to run for governor if need be. They didn't have that in 2014. And I agree with Mr. Redpath. It is cheaper to do it now, and we already have a third of the signatures. You cannot guarantee that those signatures will be valid in 2028. I would say you'd be lucky if half of them ended up being certified. So we have 5,500. We need another 10,000. We're going to have to do it regardless. And I do agree with Mr. Redpath. In a presidential year, if it's $7 to $10 now, it's going to be 15 plus in 2028. So I would support an encumbrance of up to $45,000 to Maryland for the petitioning drive. I maybe would like to see that broken into some milestones, but it is up to and regular reporting weekly from Maryland on the efforts. One last question, Mr. O'Donnell. I do believe this is the case, but Maryland is an FEC filer, correct?
Correct. We file with both the FEC and the state body.
I just wanted to make sure it was going to be easy for us to handle this. With that, I yield.
Mr. Ford?
Yeah, as the committee knows, I'm generally very supportive of the LNC chipping in, if you will, to do the ballot access. A couple questions. You had ballot access in Maryland. What happened to lose it?
In the state of Maryland, we must hit at least 1% in both presidential cycles and gubernatorial cycles. We usually keep it for about a decade or so, and then every once in a blue moon, we unfortunately do not hit it, whether it's the gubernatorial or the presidential. We were able to hit it last gubernatorial, and we give it our all. So thank you for your question, Mr. Ford.
Well, which one did you lose it
on? This most recent presidential campaign.
Okay. And what was roughly the percentage there?
I apologize.
Okay, no worries. That's not a big deal. How many volunteer signatures are you getting, and how many people right now are volunteering?
When we asked for volunteers initially, some people were able to get 25, 50 signatures at the most. but we didn't, and we did have people go out for, a weekend or 2 weekends. But there was not the appetite for continuous volunteering.
Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I've got a couple issues here. I just need to briefly discuss. That's, I want to be kind here. That's not good. We had another state recently that we did encumber money for, and they have a very aggressive volunteer program, very aggressive. I don't know. We obviously want to have a candidate on the ballot for the presidency, and I understand all the cost considerations. But at a certain point, if you're asking the national party, which is in a challenging position, to subsidize a state that won't aggressively pursue the signatures on their own, in a state that barely gets 1%, and you're talking about a candidate who's not going to aggressively campaign this time. I mean, I get it. I get the long-term picture, but it's troubling to me that this kind of money is going to be spent on an effort that's doesn't have a lot of potential unless there's a sea change in attitudes. If we go forward with this, I would ask one of the bogeys be that a certain percentage of volunteer. Listen, I'm a terrible petitioner. I loathe it. And I loathe the fact that good, smart people, our best people, are being put on street corners with clipboards. I mean, it's just, I loathe every part of it. But I also understand that it's a necessary evil. But I would request that one of the bogeys, in exchange for my vote in favor of encumbering money, be a certain continued level of volunteer signatures. The spending this kind of money when the party just doesn't have it and has all sorts of other challenges in addition to this, that's troubling to me. My other big picture issue is that I would like to change the way that we approach this. It has nothing to do with Maryland. I believe that we should have an annual budget, and we should be at a certain point in year. The experts on the ballot access committee, and we have experts on the ballot access committee. We have great people on that. Should be coming to us with a budget that addresses. And I know there's challenges that pop up. It's whack-a-mole, but it addresses the next 6 months, and I'm just picking that as an arbitrary number of what we're going to spend money on. We have a ballot access budget, but there are times our fundraising falls behind. So where our ballot access budget is relative to our fundraising for that, relative to the ongoing considerations, needs to be considered. I don't think we can go from state to state like this anymore. We need to have a comprehensive approach for a fixed period of time moving forward. So overall, if there's a bogey in there for volunteer signatures at some level, and again, please don't, I'm not trying to badger you, but please don't take this the wrong way. But when you say there's not an appetite for it, holy cow. I don't know if I have an appetite for spending money for folks who don't have an appetite for going out and doing it. And this isn't anything, I'm not asking you to do anything I haven't done myself.
We are at time. We've expended 25 minutes, unless there's a motion to extend time.
Motion to extend time for 5 minutes?
5 minutes?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. Is there any discussion on extending for 5? Hearing none, we are extended for 5 minutes. I'll go ahead and keep the timer going.
Mr. Chair, if I could just hold the floor for briefly 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
If we are to come up with a proposal to fund this, and I like the idea of having objectives, but I call them bogeys. I'd like to hear them as part of that proposal. Thank you.
Mr. Dar, and then is Kyle O'Donnell, is he a part of Maryland? Oh, that's you. You have your hand up. Okay, I was like, what? Because it was different.
That may be our treasurer.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Dar, and then somebody else from Maryland. Mr. Dar.
As far as the fundraising for this on the LNC's part, I would just ask that we get some help with crafting our donation appeal letters going into this, and feedback and different information that we can use that helps us appeal to our donors out there. That is very helpful for our staff, not to just kind of guess at what the appeal is out there, so we can help make sure this is actually funded through our donors out there. I'd also like to see candidates in the future that has been mentioned there that would, effectively use that and to make sure we aggressively go after that. And I also would like to see, not from Mr. O'Donnell, but the Ballot Access Committee, a a forecasted budget of what we're trying to look at so we can try to meet milestones of fundraising for the items that they need going on in the future. And we're going about this in a thoughtful manner. Those are my quick thoughts there.
And on that topic, I think we could speak with our partners in Iron Light to see how best to reach the people within Maryland LP and people who've obviously donated to Ballot Access before. We might be able to combine Ballot Access as a whole on several subjects if we target certain donors that are most likely to give in general that may not live in Maryland. So this could be an experiment in targeting specifically for this cause. So I think that that is something that we want to consider. And then,
Mr. Chair, if I may, did Mr. O'Donnell say that the other Kyle O'Donnell is the Maryland Treasurer, Travis Laurel? Did you say that?
I think that is likely.
Okay, I would really like to hear from Travis Laurel, the Maryland Treasurer. He's been very involved in this. I think we ought to hear from him, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Laurel, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Yes, I checked some of the numbers, and in reference to the volunteer signatures, over 600 have been collected by volunteers. Typically, volunteers are less effective on a per-day basis, but there has been some effort for folks to go and get some on a volunteer basis. Are there any questions you have for me?
I just want to state that's over 10%, which is actually pretty good on a volunteer basis.
I certainly would ask the Maryland Party to, try to step up the volunteer effort, particularly as, we get into March, the weather warms up. This is obviously a expensive proposition, and people in surrounding states can go in and petition as well. I myself, when I was a Virginian, went into Maryland many times to petition, and help should be asked from surrounding states, in my opinion.
And Mr. Redpath, while there's time, if you plan on making a motion, you should make the motion.
Okay, I will make a motion, and that is that I move to encumber $45,000 from the LNC for ballot access petitioning on this petition drive for the Libertarian Party of Maryland to complete this petition drive successfully by July 1, 2026.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we're now into discussion.
We're almost out of time, are we not, Mr. Chair?
We have about a minute left.
Okay.
We can move to extend time. Personally, I would prefer, I would support something more in line with 15,000 as a start, with some of that funding being used towards the LNC attempting to fundraise and then revisiting this issue in about several months. That would be my personal to see what kind of traction we're getting on the ground. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way.
I don't mind breaking it up into payments, but I think we should encumber the amount that gives clarity. It's difficult for a state party to go to petitioners and say, hey, by the way, we only have some of the money committed. Because I know petitioners ask. So I'm concerned about not encumbering the full thing. We do have the money. Let's be honest. It is there. We can touch it. I don't like to touch it. I don't want to touch the butterfly wings, but this is the type of thing that we should be doing for our state affiliates, supporting them. I would there's also been said, I'd like to see Maryland step up the volunteer efforts. I think they're doing an okay job. They need to push it a little bit more. I think we can do a lot more to help promote them. Let's use our national system, CRM, to send out volunteer requests within the surrounding Maryland area. But I think that this is a valid use of the limited funds that we have, and we do have some in reserve. So I'd like to see this.
I move to extend time 10 minutes.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I'm going to object to that.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion to extend time for 10 minutes. We'll go ahead and take it to a vote. Well, I don't really have any, unless there's discussion to extend time. I just rather take it to a vote. All in favor of extending time for 10, raise your hand.
My hand was already raised, still raised.
Okay, all right. So Mr. Dar, Paul, myself. All right.
I'll withdraw my objection to the 10 minutes, Mr. Chair. If you want to go ahead, sir, go. I'll withdraw my objection.
Thank you very much. All right, if there's no objection, we'll extend for 10. Mr. Ford, you had your hand raised?
Yes, sir. What $45,000? And again, I'm going to side with the chair and say that we need to break this down. $45,000 represents as a percentage basis of our cash on hand right now. Was it at 10%?
That would be that right now, our cash about $770,000 roughly. So that would be ballpark 6 to 7% of LNC cash at the moment.
Right. I just editorially, I get it. And I keep saying that I get it. I get the value proposition for the presidential year. But at the same time, we're talking about $45,000 out of a $700,000, and we will raise money, but $45,000 out of a $700,000 for a state that's going to put a placeholder candidate in for a gubernatorial election this year is tough. Is tough for me. I would, Mr. Chair, we have a proposal. We have a proposal on the floor right now that we're debating.
If there was one, I would propose $15,000 encumbrance, and then I would say to sweeten the deal, $2,000 for the LNC to actually no, let me think about that for a second, because I want money to be able to go and try to fundraise for this. So I'll meet you halfway, and it's a little bit less than halfway, but well, a little, maybe a third of the way. $15,000 for ballot access and $2,500 for the LNC to do targeted outreach or targeted appeals for donors for specifically for Maryland ballot access.
And if you put that amendment forward, I would just to give a heads up, I would request as part of the condition I'm moving forward to another encumbrance is 500 volunteer signatures in the first month.
415 and 47.7. Because what I would like to see is, I'm not saying we can't do 45, but to encumber 45,000 off the gate is asking an awful lot from us at this point. But regardless of the cash in the bank, there's still a deficit, and I have to be mindful of that deficit. I would like to make that motion, and I would say we can revisit this monthly, and then in a month, 2 or 3 months, we can sit back down, see where you guys are, and determine from there what we need to provide you with at that time. That would be my motion, my amendment to the main motion.
So your motion would be to amend the motion to read as encumber up to $15,000 for ballot access petitioning for the LP of Maryland, and an additional $2,000 for the LNC to fundraise.
2,500.
2,500 for the fundraising for continuing petitioning efforts.
Correct.
Mr. Chair, at what point in time would I amend that motion to include my personal?
Month.
Oh, what is it, Pat? 500 signatures.
500 signatures in the first 30 days. So in other words, we're gonna have a review period.
I don't know if that's realistic right now with the weather. So I'm going to make my motion, and then I'll let you.
I thought there was a motion on the floor already.
He's moved.
This is my motion to
an amendment.
This would be a motion to amend.
Okay, I have a question, Mr. Chairman, about in this that I think is germane. Who's running this petition drive at this point? Who is running this petition drive? And are we going to keep this payment rate at $5 per signature and see what happens? Because I don't think, I know there's been a weather situation going on there, but I don't think they've been turning the numbers at $5 a sig that's going to get this thing to the finish line by 7/1/26. So, I mean, I think there is an issue here. Who's going to be running this petition drive and deciding who's going to pay what to the petitioners?
What would the answer be if it was 45,000?
I think that, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think this petition drive is going to succeed at $5 a city. And I think implicit in that, although technically this was not addressed, I think implicit in that 45,000 plus the 25,000 from Maryland that they have to spend equals 70,000, divide by 7 is 10,000 gross. So all I'm saying is that I think there is an issue as to how this petition drive is going to move forward operationally, because we're not turning the numbers fast enough to hit the deadline that is 5 months from today. We've got to do ballpark 2,000 SIGs a month, and I don't think recently this drive has come close to that. And I know it's winter and all, but still.
I would defer to the LP Maryland to decide how to best use the money, and of course, with the Ballot Access Committee of the LNC to assist them in that endeavor. And if we have to meet sooner because we feel like we're just not there, well, I don't expect them potentially to get where they need to be with 15,000, but I think breaking it up into chunks at the very least is the responsible thing to do at this point. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I made that motion to amend. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, discussion on the amendment.
I don't agree with the amendment. I think that we should encumber the amount necessary at this time, as opposed to coming back like this. It can be broken up, but I disagree with saying we're just going to get 15,000 now. And that's the cap. I think it should be the 45,000 broken into bi-monthly payments, but that's my position.
Mr. Ford, go ahead.
Is this a time to add an amendment?
You could amend the amendment.
Yeah, I'd like to amend the amendment to the amendment. I'm gonna, listen, the weather's gonna break. I understand it's a brutal, did I mention I was out in -4 degrees yesterday filming on Friday? I mean, the weather's gonna break. And if this type of money, if we were even a little bit wealthier, I'd have a far less problem. But this type of money on a rainy day, against a rainy day fund, again, for a state that's, I don't see 600 signatures or 500 or 700 as particularly great for a state that size. I just don't, and I'm not trying to criticize, but there's got to be some type of stake in this. It's anyway. So I'm gonna add the amendment that, and this is based on $15,000 being encumbered on a 30-day period, and with I'll call it a 400 signatures we'll bargain to within the first 30 days, because I get the secretary's point, and I saw this happen in New York years ago where there wasn't a full commitment. But this,
Mr. Ford, before you get into debate, let's get a second first.
Yeah, so so I'll go 400 signatures in the first 30 days on a volunteer basis.
Is there a second?
Well, I'll second this subsidiary amendment.
Okay. All right. So there's the amendment to the amendment has been seconded. It would be to add. Now, Pat, this is a proviso that the $15,000 would only be encumbered if Maryland can get 400 additional signatures, volunteers.
No, I'm saying the first 15,000 encumber. We've got to jumpstart them. All right, if we have any chance of success. And
so how is this worded?
Mr. Chair, I would say $15,000 encumbered with a 30-day review. Future encumbrances rely on 400 volunteer signatures within that 30 days, which is going to be work. I get it.
So it has no bearing on the actual
The
motion.
first encumbrance. No, I'm just saying
It would
before we go
only be if
forward
they come
anymore.
back and ask for more.
I guess we could, it would just be, I guess for us, we could always make a determination. Because it really would be a goal, because the executive committee can always say whatever we want to
Yeah.
say. We can't force ourselves to not do something later. So it'd be setting a goal for 400 signatures within 30 days.
Volunteer. Mhm.
Any further discussion? And we're out of time in 8 seconds.
Yeah, so just move to a vote on the amendment and then your amendment and then the main motion.
All right, so we are out of time. All in favor of the Ford amendment, please raise your hand. All right, and I will also vote yes, but I believe that fails.
No, that would pass. That's
That would
3.
pass.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I thought that was a 6. Okay, yep, so that passes. And we're now on my amendment, which is 15,000 encumbrance for the Libertarian Party of Maryland ballot access signature drive with $2,500, the LNC to encumber or to budget for purposes of fundraising, and then the 400 signature volunteer requirement within 30 days for future potential encumbrance, more or less.
The LP of Maryland. Encumber up to $15,000 for ballot access petitioning for the Libertarian Party of Maryland and an additional $2,500 for the LNC to initiate fundraising for additional funds for the LP of Maryland petition drive, with the LP of Maryland securing 400 signatures on a volunteer basis within 30 days before future encumbrances.
Sounds right. All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. One, two, three.
Well, this
Also
is your amendment to the main motion, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so amendment passes. We're now on to the main motion.
But I vote no.
I voted no.
Yeah.
Right, wait, so we have Paul, myself, and Pat voted yes.
3-2.
3-2.
Mhm.
So the amendment passes. All right, now we're back. Now we're on the main motion as amended. Same thing as written. All in favor of the main.
You need to do this by
Oh,
by
you're
roll
right.
call
Roll
vote.
call. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Do you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
See it.
Chair Nikayla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Dar,
Yes.
Treasurer Redpath.
I'll abstain.
I'm voting yes, begrudgingly. I'm not happy about this. Mr. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins is not here. Mr. Chair, the votes are 4 yes, 0 no's, and 1 abstention.
And I have a question, Mr. Chairman, that is
Yes.
relevant to this. So when I speak with petitioners now, what I will say to them is that the Libertarian Party of Maryland is running this petition drive, and they will have to negotiate with the Libertarian Party of Maryland regarding their compensation going forward on this petition drive, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, from Maryland. Let's stay in touch and gauge progress here in the next month or so that follows, and go from there. We are now on to the next item, which is expand scope of litigation committee to include FEC matters. I move the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, pretty brief. The litigation committee met, and they wish to expand, and I agree to include any outstanding FEC matters. There are still outstanding matters which require our attention, and the litigation committee has enthusiastically agreed to also oversee those matters. The floor is now open for discussion if anybody seeks to be recognized.
Just on as the representative from the litigation committee, there's some overlap in items before the litigation committee, so it makes sense.
I'll call the question.
All right, there's no further hands raised, move on to a roll call vote. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Nicola,
I vote yes.
Mr. Dar,
I vote yes.
Mr. Redpath,
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Ford,
Yes.
Mr. Watkins is not here. Mr. Chair, the vote is 5 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions.
Motion passes. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Move to adjourn.
Any objection? Hearing none, we are adjourned at 9:59 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
The recording has stopped.
Good night, all.
Are we in casual discussion? We gonna hang out